Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you how to put tapes on your violin. This video is intended for an advanced musician, although if you are advanced maybe you don't need tapes anymore. So it also is intended for parents. So if you just bought a violin and it doesn't have any tapes, which no brand new violin has tapes, this video is going to show you how to put them on correctly, properly. And sometimes you do have tapes, but they're wearing off. And yeah, so tapes wear off. The sweat from your fingers causes the tape to get old and to rip. And maybe you just need new tapes. So here's the video on how to do that. Now, your maestro will probably do this in class, but if you have to do it on your own, or if you want to do it on your own, you can go ahead and buy tape at a craft store. You can buy it online, and I mean the rolls kind of look like this. There is specific tape for violin, so if you look up on Amazon you can look up violin tape, and you can buy the sheets. It's meant for teachers, but it's not too expensive, so you can have backup tapes, or you can donate. Why don't you go ahead and buy some tapes and maybe donate the rest to your maestro. So yeah, here we go. So what you have to do first is make sure your violin is in tuned. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my tuner. You gotta make sure the strings are in tune, and you gotta know how to tune the violin before you can put on tape. So make sure your strings are in tune, all of them. All right, now I don't recommend playing too much with the pegs. That is a video for that is a lesson for another video. But if you have your violin in tune, you can go ahead and keep going. Actually, really, you don't need to have all the strings in tune. As long as you have one string in tune, that should work just fine. So let's go ahead and do it with the E string, okay? As you can see, the tuner says it's perfectly in tune. Now, my tuner right now, it says V. So right there, you don't want to be doing this in the V mode, because that will only tell you if you are low or high relative to that E string. And I actually want to know whether I'm playing these next notes in tune. So I want to take it to the chromatic. The chromatic mode will give me every single note that I play. So your E string is in tune. The first tape will be your first finger. So go ahead and put that first finger. It's about 1 inch away from the nut. The nut is this little raised black part right here. So the fingerboard comes all the way up here. You can see a little line right there, and then it's the nut. It's like a little 1/4 of a circle that is right there where that fingerboard ends. So about 1 inch away, you put your finger, and I like to put my nail, because a finger can be deceptive. You don't know exactly where that finger is making contact with the string, but when you put your nail, you know exactly where that nail is on the string. All right, so I'm gonna put my nail, have your nail touch the string. I'm gonna pluck. Okay, and the note that you want is an F sharp. Make sure that there's a letter F and that there's a little sharp sign, which looks like a hashtag. And if it is low, you move the finger towards closer to you. Right there is about good. And let me play that note again so you can see that it is in tune. There's the F sharp right in the middle. So right there where my nail touches the string with a pencil, I want to put a little mark right there. I'm going to mark it. Make sure you can see the mark. Once you take your finger off, make sure you can see that mark, okay? And you can do, that mark won't damage the violin or anything. It'll, that's where you're going to put your tape, okay? Now let's go ahead and put the second finger now. Second finger is about another inch away from the first finger, okay? So once you go ahead and put your second finger, make sure it's just a nail. And really, it doesn't have to be the second finger, okay? Because right now we're not playing. It can be your first finger if it's more comfortable to use your first finger. Make sure it's about an inch away from the first line that you just drew on the violin. And this note should be G sharp. So when I play it right here, it should say G sharp. And you want the tuner to be right in the middle, and the tuner turns to green. Right there is a good G sharp. I'm gonna make it same thing. I'm gonna mark it on the fingerboard, the little line, making sure that I can see the line once I remove my finger. And now third finger goes right next to the second finger, so it's not an inch. It's about a half an inch. So go ahead with any finger you want, about half an inch higher. Press down on the string, and that note should be A. So maybe let's say I'm gonna give you an out of tune A. See if we can get it. There. So there's about an out of tune A. It's not, see, it's low on the tuner. So we gotta, we're not tuning, so instead of moving this, if we were tuning the violin, we would move this. Instead, we're just gonna move our finger up. This finger is gonna move up closer towards you. So move it up just a little bit on the string and play it again. And it still needs to go more, so we move it closer to you. Right there where it's green, and you mark that spot right there. In the event that you went too high, see right there, now it says A sharp. We don't want the A sharp, we just want A. So A sharp is higher than A, so we have to go back. We have to go away from you. And there it is, and that's exactly where I put my mark right there. All right, now you put the pencil away, you put the tuner away, and you take out your tape. You want to grab, if you have the sheets, just grab a little piece of tape. Those are already pre-cut. If you have a roll like this, go ahead and cut a piece that's about 2.5 inches. So you just cut a piece like this. It's about 2.5 inches. It could be 2 inches. It could be 3 inches. You'll kind of figure it out. Now what you need to do is grab that tape and slide it under the strings. Okay? Slide it under the strings. Careful not to drop the violin. Grab the other side. Grab the other side. And now what you're going to do is you're going to run it under the strings but above the fingerboard. And you're going to keep running it all the way up. All the way up until you see your first marking, your first pencil marking right there. See how it's above the tape? You're going to put that tape right above that mark. All right? And you want the tape to be straight. You want the tape to you don't want the tape to be like that. See how that's like a crooked tape? You want the tape to be as straight as possible, but right on top of that mark. And what you're going to do with the extra tape is you're just going to wrap it around the neck. So you do one side first, you do the other side second, and that's the first tape. Go ahead and do that for the other two markings. Most of you guys out there are going to only need 3 tapes when you're a beginner. If you are using some method books that require the 4th tape, or if you're doing some songs, some of the mariachi songs we're doing that you need the 4th tape, go ahead and put another marking. So that other marking on the E string would be B. B as in boy. That's the note that you should be looking for. The first one is F sharp, G sharp, A, and then B. And B is an inch. It's about an inch away from the A. So if you are going to put four tapes on the violin, that letter on the tuner that you should be looking for is B. Now some of these tapes are made from paper, some of them are plastic. Some of them will last longer than others. You might have to do this once every 2 months. There's about And it depends on how much your fingers sweat as well. So if your hands don't sweat, they'll last longer. If you have sweaty hands, unfortunately, you're gonna have to change them more often than not. And yeah, that's how they should look like. Now, if you had another, if you wanted to do the B, if you wanted to do the, oh, I lost the well, anyways, if you wanted to do the B, it would be around right there. You see where that pinky is? So about right there. And always use a tuner. Always use a tuner, because you don't want to put these tapes on the wrong spot and have your child be muscle. You don't want the muscle memory to be memorizing the wrong spot on the violin. Okay? You want these fingers to always be in these spots. And so eventually the muscle memory will kick in and the ear will kick in, and then you're not going to need the tapes forever. Which is the reason why my violin did not have tapes, because I don't need them anymore. And yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and type it up in the comments and I'll reply to them. Thank you.